Have you ever walked into a room and felt like people already had a sense of who you were before you even spoke? Well, that is your rising sign at work. And if you're running a business, this is huge because your rising sign is shaping your brand, your energy, and the way people are drawn to you before you even say a word. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wait a minute, my sun sign is the most important thing in my brand. Nope. Your sun sign is part of your purpose and your mission in business, and it is where you're headed. But your rising sign is the car you're driving in to get there. It is your personal packaging, the energy that you naturally radiate, and how people perceive you at first glance. So if you've ever struggled with branding, messaging, or even just feeling fully aligned in your business, this episode is for you because today I'm going to break down how your rising sign influences your personal brand. Plus, I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of all 12 rising signs so you can start using this right now. All right, before we dive into the signs, let's do a quick 101 on what your rising sign actually is, because if you're new to astrology, this might be confusing. So what is your rising sign? Well, your rising sign, which is also known as your ascendant, is the zodiac sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at the moment you were born. It is based on your exact time of birth. It is the first impression that you give off before people even know your name. Think of this again as your packaging. This is what is driving your style, your energy, your personal brand vibe. It is the rising sign or the ascendant represents the physical body, the physical package that you present. So why does this matter for your business? Well, understanding and working with this is important in the sense of driving your aesthetics, your messaging, and how you are approaching your business in general, really, and what you are there to do. It's also really important, and we're going to get to this shortly, in understanding the ruler of your chart. This is going to give you the ruler of your chart because it's the planet that governs your rising sign or that rules your rising sign. So working with that as well as your rising sign is going to make this even stronger. And I go deeper into that in my video or my episode on chart rulers and your personal brand. But let's get into the fun part, how each rising sign shapes your brand. And we're going to break this down by the elements, by the fire, earth, water, and air signs. We're going to go through all 12 rising signs. So if you don't know yours offhand, pause this, grab your birth time, run your chart through astro.com or astroseek.com and find out. And come back and listen to this. Awesome. Let's go. So fire rising signs. Fire rising signs are Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius risings. This is all about bold colors, strong fonts, strong messaging. If you are, for instance, an Aries rising, you are the trailblazer. When you walk into a room, people are going to feel your presence. You've got that unstoppable go-getter energy, like you're always one step ahead. And you usually are. Your brand should feel bold, direct, and fearless because that's how people see you. A branding tip for this is absolutely strong typography, high energy messaging, bold colors like reds, dynamic movement. Wherever you can show movement in your imagery is also great. But in terms of the messaging, it needs to be bold, it needs to be direct, it needs to be courageous in some way. For Leo risings, this is a magnetic leader. So you just own the room when you walk in. Even if you're not trying to, Leo risings will become the center of attention in some way. You are unforgettable. You have that natural star power and people are drawn to that confidence. So your brand should also feel bold, but you want to bring in a little bit of this regality of Leo to your personal brand and the luxury and also this kind of unapologetic confidence that you have, wherever you can bring that out. So tips for Leo risings in terms of aesthetics, use a bit of gold, a bit of bling if you can. Use imagery that feels luxurious and regal in some way, royal. Polished aesthetics are great for that Leo energy as well. Things that feel extravagant and luxurious, expensive. All of that stuff is great. Sagittarius risings. This is the visionary. You are not here to play small, Sag rising. You radiate big energy. You're adventurous, inspiring, and you're a natural storyteller. So your brand should feel expansive, full of possibility, and designed to shake things up, to stir the pot a little bit. So a branding tip for you would be bold fonts, energetic colors. And also you're thinking expansion with your imagery. Maybe there's a bit of travel imagery or nature imagery in your personal brand, in your website. Okay, now we've covered the fire signs. Let's move through the rest of the zodiac. Remember, this is how the world sees you, so lean into it. Earth rising signs now. That's Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. These are the grounded creators, right? So Taurus rising. Taurus risings are calm, grounded. There's a natural magnetism to this sign as well. People feel safe and nurtured in your presence. Your brand should feel intentional. It should feel elegant. It should feel rooted in quality. This sign is ruled by Venus. So there is an element of beauty and luxury involved in this brand as well. You want to also work with tactile design elements, a bit of texture wherever you can, and focus on sensory language that evokes a sense of touch, scent, beauty. You're speaking into feelings here. You're speaking into the literal feelings, not emotional feelings, but literal feelings, senses. Virgo risings. This is the go-to person for clarity, for detail, for refinement. You bring order to the chaos. You and your brand should reflect this calm, smart, and trustworthy energy. This might be minimalist aesthetics. This might be clean design, strong copy, helpful content, like things to help people get organized, like checklists, how-tos, frameworks, all of that sort of thing. Because you are so good at helping people order their thoughts and bring clarity, this is what you need to lean into in your personal brand as well. Make it feel easy, make it feel ordered in some way. Make it feel like you're paying attention to the details. Capricorn risings, this is the authority energy. So you are seen as capable, strategic, and reliable. You've got your together. You've got your stuff together, right? Your brand should radiate structure, professionalism, long-term vision. This is about strong fonts, and I mean probably serif fonts too, neutral colors, classic style, messaging that says, I'm building something that lasts. I'm building something of substance. That's kind of the vibe you are going for, Capricorn risings. Let's go to the air signs now. So that is the Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius risings, starting with Gemini. This is the messenger. So if you're a Gemini rising, you are probably quick-witted, versatile, always have something interesting to say. People see you as curious, clever, and in the know. They probably come to you because you know a lot of people or you know about a lot of things. So your brand could feel really fresh, dynamic, and full of personality. So a branding tip for you is to play with fun fonts, particularly. You can have a little bit more fun with your word style, your conversational copy. Make sure the copy you use is really conversational. You're in conversation with your clients, like a friend to a friend. The conversational copy will be really important for you. You also want to have a bit more fun with it. You can potentially add in some gifts. Maybe that's part of your brand. Your words are your power here. Libra risings, this is the harmonizer. So you walk into a room and you elevate the energy. People feel that grace, they feel that aesthetic sense, and your ability to create this sense of beauty and balance wherever you go. So your brand should feel inviting, collaborative, and visually stunning wherever possible. So a branding tip for you is to use soft tones, to use symmetry and symmetrical layouts wherever you can. Use a bit of artistic imagery. Use language that makes people feel seen and included. Make sure it feels very collaborative, your messaging. Aquarius rising, this is the rebel visionary. So you are not like everyone else, and that is your magic. You come across as future-focused, innovative, a little bit unexpected. Your brand should feel a little bit edgy. It should feel forward-thinking and authentic. Authenticity is key for an Aquarius rising. So a branding tip for you is to think a little bit unconventional, is to think progressive messaging and community-centered ideas, like bringing it back to the community and to the future that you're building with people. Water rising signs. We are talking about Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. These are the deep feelers, the intuitive signs. So Cancer rising, this is the nurturer. You carry a soft strength. People feel emotionally safe with you, and that is your superpower. Your brand should feel warm, supportive, and emotionally intelligent. So a branding tip for this in terms of the aesthetics is soft textures, nurturing language, potentially imagery that evokes a sense of home or some sort of security in some way, and storytelling that really connects with the heart, connects emotionally with your clients or customers. Scorpio rising, this is the powerhouse. You have this aura of intensity and mystery, and people might not know exactly what it is about you, but they're drawn in anyway. Your brand should feel transformative, deep, powerful. And so a branding tip for you is rich colors, contrast, magnetic visuals, things and messaging that speaks to some sort of change and to truth and to inner strength and resilience. Pisces rising, this is the mystic creative. So you can come across as quite dreamy and intuitive and artistic, like you live partly in another realm. Your brand needs to feel enchanting in some way. It's soulful. It's visually immersive. It's also probably quite different to traditional brands you see out there. You want to think with Pisces, potentially even some watercolor type aesthetic, some softer gradients, something spiritual you might want to bring in there, or just poetic language that stirs the imagination. Now, this might also be bringing a bit of music lyric or something like that. Adding or thinking musically, because Pisces is very much about music and poetry and that kind of thing as well. Okay, so remember, your rising sign brings your natural vibe, and this is why we want to amplify this in business. It's the energy you're already carrying, and when your brand aligns with your rising sign, everything just starts to click into place. It feels easy, it feels magnetic, it feels true to you. But there is more to the story, which I hinted at earlier. There's something that a lot of people miss when it comes to their rising sign and when they first learn about rising signs. So you might already know this, but the tone, the flavor, and even the vibe of your rising sign is massively influenced by the planet that rules it. Your chart ruler adds this extra layer of nuance to how your rising sign actually shows up. For example, if you are a Pisces rising, your ruling planet is Jupiter. Pisces is ruled by the planet Jupiter. If that Jupiter is in Virgo in your chart, you're going to come across as more grounded, analytical, and detail-oriented than a Pisces rising with Jupiter in Sagittarius, who feels more bold, more expansive, and potentially, it's more about exploration with that brand. Or, to give another example, if you're a Libra rising, Libra is ruled by Venus. If your Venus is in Aries, then that's going to bring a punchier, more dynamic energy compared with a Libra rising when Venus is in Pisces, which is a much softer, more romantic and artistic energy. If your rising sign doesn't fully land for you now, it might be because of how your chart ruler is influencing the way that energy is expressed. So that's why understanding your chart ruler is a game changer for your brand. And I go into this in much more detail in my other video, your chart ruler and your brand, which is up next if you're watching on YouTube, or it will be linked if you are listening to the podcast.